Hey people, welcome to the GCR network. This is a special 3-part podcast on the Occupy Julorbi demo. I'm here with Daniel, Ni, and Ama, and we are discussing our experiences from the first day, having been arrested for daring to challenge the Akufo-Addo government by gathering to protest. Okay, so for those of us here, I don't know, was it our first protest, the first demonstration we had ever attended?
No, I've been to so many demonstrations. The last one was the Komepreko one, when diesel was like 23 cedis, 50 pesos. Ghanaians didn't want to show up. Charlie, I was pissed, man. Yeah. Like 23 cedis, 50 pesos a liter of diesel.
Those were dark times.
And people on Twitter space insulting the government. Come and demonstrate today, Twitter space.
Oh, but that one was cool. I felt like there was...
diesel was 23 cedis, 50 pesos a liter. Yeah. Exchange rate around 14 cedis.
But the one thing I liked about that demo was the fact that we were actually calling on Akufo-Addo to like step down, because it was normally for demos it's like we are maybe doing so much stuff. We are hitting at an issue. That one is true. That one is always true. Game.
There were more police than protesters.
Yeah. But the funny thing is, for me, I haven't just been... This wasn't my first demo. I remember when I was in Amsterdam, I went to one, and that was the more reason why I attended this. It was because I feel like if I'm demonstrating for Palestine back home, then it becomes easier for me to be able to protest for the things that involve people who I share the same identity with, the same cultural values with, the same experiences with. And like Daniel was saying, the thing that pushed me the most about this was there wasn't just one singular thing we were attacking with this protest. It wasn't just, say, fuel price hikes, or we're just doing this for the economic hardship we were dealing with. There was a series of issues that we're both all fighting for, and that's why it was very difficult for the government or any other naysayers to come up against us. Because if you're fighting us, what are you really fighting up against? Because my issue is very different from you, Dela. It's very different from Danny. It's very different from Ama. So we both, everybody had their own issues that we were fighting for, and I felt like this was a bit more of the boiling pot for everybody to just throw their issues in, and then to just serve to everybody. So that was why it was very difficult for us to be stopped, I think.
Amma, how about you?
Yeah, this wasn't my first protest. I think...
we're all veterans.
Yeah. I think the first protest I've ever been physically part of was the NSAS protests in Ghana. I had been talking so much online. I had helped send emails to, all these Nigerian authorities that people were asking that we email. I had done all these things. And so when they put together the fiscal protest, I was like, yeah, sure, I'm going to go. And over there, those of us Ghanaians who were there, we found the Ghana Police Service lying to the Nigerians. And unfortunately, they believed them. We literally had Nigerians begging us to listen to the police and leave them alone and leave the place and stop the protest, because Ghana Police Service basically told them they did not file or they did not ask for permission. That was literally the thing. You do not have permission to protest. You do not have permission to be here. But that protest had leaders. They had done what the laws required them to notify the Ghana Police Service. I came to this particular protest mainly to help document, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a shame for me, because I kind of always wear dual hats when I go for a protest, because in this case, even though I'm a journalist, I'm freelancing, I wasn't going down anybody's dime. I didn't have a press jacket, but then I feel like it's important to, at least so we can tell people in 20 years that under Akufo-Addo, people actually stood up.
Happened.
Because people talk about under Champong and stuff, but then it's hard to find the images and stuff. You have to go and find the graphics and those things. But then I feel like even for the now, for people to see that, yes, these demos are happening, because Akufo-Addo has this weird, insane tag of the custodian of Africans. No, people feel like he's the custodian of democracy, like a natural beacon, and people cannot reconcile the fact that there's not just the hardship, but then the impunity in Ghana, and it's bizarre for me, and I feel like maybe even our documentation efforts are not going as far enough, which is why, and I'm sure we'll get onto it, why
Yeah.
this particular protest was very significant. But I should add that most of us were among the later batches of arrests. For me, I was driving to the place looking for parking, and I saw the police bus there. I didn't see people being rounded up, but by the time I got there, they had gone, and the journalists were giving the accounts of what happened, and the police came and picked up a few more people. I don't know what you guys saw or heard in the build-up to the protest, because we had heard bad things, but went there nonetheless.
The funny thing was, I was supposed to go there at 8 in the morning, but I think at 5:30 I had this weird inclination to just go. So I called a friend. We went there. I got there about 6:05, parked around Total, walked all the way to the station. Funny thing for me was I was trying to get coffee. So I went with my colleague down to the station, found a Nescafe guy, bought one. So coming up to the middle entry point of the 37 station was where I saw them rounding the guys up. And that was where I took my phone and took the videos, took pictures, which I tweeted. And so that was where the whole distress call went out. People were like, okay, so people who were coming to come and protest were actually being taken away. So the two buses that picked them up, I took videos and then put them out. And then I went back to Maximat I had a couple more pictures that I wanted to post. I was doing that, and then I saw a car battery guy
Because
and his group walking towards me.
I was with Amma and a cousin. We were going to the police station. I had parked opposite, and then we saw them going, and we were like, okay, since...
So I called you.
Yes.
I called you.
Yeah. Because we were heading back to the car to maybe go to the police
Danny was the
station.
leader of the group. Danny was like, let's move.
So when I was leaving the house, I saw on TV that Oliver Dens had been arrested. I was like, nah, Charlie still have still come.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got there, the whole place, everybody has dispersed. And
Yeah, they are dispersed. We're leaving because...
I picked up some guys down the road from the back road, the Nahindra Modi, that road. I don't know what... Jamal Nehru Road.
Okay, yeah.
Guys that came.
You were using Google Maps.
Yeah. So I picked up a Mofa, them, and in my pickup, came to park. And like, Charlie, let's go. These people, what can they do? So we walked. I saw you. I came to you and Sean Reezy. And so I gathered them.
I don't know. What was the plan at that point? Because in my head, it was like,
I
let's
wanted
go to
us
the
to
police
go
station.
to Julorbi house.
Julorbi house.
That was what I wanted us to
That
go.
was intention.
I think
So when I gathered them and I'm all of us are students.
And then there was the snitch police officer who was...
yes.
I know him.
Oh, you know him?
So when he came, I was the one who spoke to him. I was like, Charlie, I know you from Kaleshi.
Actually, I have a photo of Amma shooting the guy as he was shooting
I
us.
have personal issues with that person. So for me, I wanted to finish some work before I step out. I work at a university. I had to, upload resources. And I didn't want a situation where it's like, okay, you're out protesting, but you haven't done the work that you are supposed to do. So I'm like, okay, let me give Caesar's due. So I did all of that and stepped out. Before I stepped out, one of my photographer friends who earlier this year I went to a photo workshop with had sent me a message to say, oh, hey, people have been arrested, but I have sort of found safety with the media team. So she was basically hanging out with reporters from Joy FM, from Metro TV, and I can't remember who else. And they were basically standing opposite the Senegalese embassy on that stretch that goes towards La
Right in
Bonnie,
front of the
GIS.
Trotro station.
Yeah, actually right in front of the Trotro station. So when I left home, that was exactly where I went. And that was where I met Delali. When I got there, it wasn't long before they came to pick up the guy who had the Ghana flag and the other guy
right
who had
before
the
us.
suit.
Yeah.
You should have seen the way these people came
They were
to pick
just
them.
talking to the media. That's all they were doing.
It was almost as if they had heard that they were carrying bombs or something. They literally jumped over that thing, like the barrier, they jumped over that thing. I do not understand it. Like, I do not understand how you put your life at risk like that to come and arrest somebody who's not doing anybody physical harm, like nothing, just talking to media people. They came and pushed these people into their car.
Like they were terrorists.
But the funny thing is, I think the first guys who were arrested had a worse experience than we did. Because
as for that.
there were police in riot gear and behind horses.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, literally.
I
Like, in
still
front of
cannot believe that
the
part.
Senegal embassy. So like those guys were roughed up. Those guys had they had their necks like pulled up. Some people were being pushed to the floor. So they had a terrible experience. What I would say for us was, and being in Danny's circle, is that when they got there, I didn't think anything sinister was happening. What the police did was he did a demarcation, was like this, to stand here. And then he was speaking with Danny. Next thing we know, we are being invited to the police. I'm like, if you're inviting us, that's
I like the way they use sinister, because it was, in hindsight, it was like incredibly devious.
Yeah.
Like, from the guy who was shooting us with his camera.
Some media guy from the Ghana
GTV
Police Service
and the
was
GTV
filming
guy,
us. And I'm like, okay, let me also film and photograph some. So I'm doing exactly that. Nee is posing for this person because if you want photos, okay, we will give you some. So Nee is posing for this person, and before we know, there's a vehicle and somebody comes out and is trying to do boys with us. And that's the thing.
Someone was like, we don't do
Listen, I don't do boys with Ghana Police. Please, you're not my friend. Don't even say police is your friend to me as a joke. Like, don't even do it. This guy came and was doing boys with people. Then another car comes and he's like, oh, my boss wants to talk to you. And I think that's when I saw Kabachi guy, talking to somebody.
Yeah, he came and was like, he wants to speak to the leader of the group. And I was like,
you don't have a leader.
Because, so then he just told us, okay, so let's go to the station. Charlie, we just hopped into the car.
Yeah,
but when we hopped into the car, the way they were speeding, with the sirens, I was like,
yes. The funny thing is, I still had my phone at that point. So
we all did.
Arrested.
Yeah. It wasn't funny. Like, we're not protesting, nothing, just standing there.
I was actually on my second Kube, okay? I was on my second Kube. I had almost finished it. And when they did the whole, you need to come with us thing, I remember trying to take the husk back to the coconut guy. Yeah. Tell me why some policeman with some nets on his head tries to shove me. In fact, he actually shoved me. And I had to turn and say to this guy to not touch me.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, don't touch me.
Like, I don't even know what was wrong with me at that point, but it annoyed me so much. My thing is, why can you people not do this work that you have been assigned? Why can't you do it without your hands? Why do you constantly need your hands? Why do you constantly need to touch people, to hit people? See, me personally, this conversation that we're having, I don't know where next is going to go, but I am still looking for a number for the head of the Police Professional Standards Bureau. If you have a number for this office, please.
I mean, there's video. They
find
should be
it
acting
for
on the
me.
videos.
Okay, find it for me. Whoever leads that body needs to explain to us how it's like. Where in the Constitution does it say that in your interaction with everyday people you need to hit them? They would have to explain to us.
But anyway, on the way to the Accra Regional Command, that's where they were taking us. What was going through your heads? Because at that point it was like, Charlie, are we going to be detained? Are we just going to meet the guy? What were you guys thinking at that point?
So, me, I don't trust the police.
Ghana police, yeah.
So when we're going, after I tweeted, I was like, hey, Charlie, I sent Ben crying. But like, I was like, there's nothing we could have done. Yeah. So, yeah.
I
but
mean,
it was annoying, the sirens and the way, look, you're just inviting us. You say you're inviting us. So went from this, dodging traffic, passing through a one-way.
Yeah.
Like, what's the meaning of this? Like,
I mean, we got the minister's treatment for a change.
And the funny thing is, I think we all probably were naive to an extent. Because I didn't think at that point we're going to be
very safe.
I knew something was going to happen.
I was hoping to see the other guys who were arrested.
I didn't know they were going to play that dirty trick on us, taking our phones and all that.
Because we got there and then they tell us to lie down and line up and sit on the floor.
Sit on the floor.
Yeah.
Bring your phones. Like,
no introduction, nothing. Like, we had no idea who we were talking to. They could have been anybody. Okay, they could have been some random group of people that some supposed big person had sent to come and rough us up or whatever. They could have been anybody because they weren't in uniform. All the people that were talking to us weren't in uniform. Fine, it's a holiday. They probably were on duty and they were called to just come in, whatever. But these people weren't in uniforms. They also didn't have name tags and they didn't introduce themselves.
Just showing weapons.
Okay, so people are just telling us, sit down, line up, write your name, bring your phone.
Yeah.
And we don't even know who they are. We don't know who we are talking to.
And by that point, we had
like,
heard
what
stuff
is that?
like people were beaten and stuff because there was a guy who was brought.
Who was sick?
Albert.
Yeah,
the guy
Albert,
who
Who was
yeah.
part of the first batch, who
Yeah.
had said some stuff about people being roughed up.
Yeah.
And all that. So it was becoming a little dicey, at least for me.
I don't know.
But then the thing that really, I guess, gave some assurance was the fact that we saw some lawyers there because we also
Yeah.
heard that lawyers were mobilizing.
Yeah.
I think you had reached out to someone
Yeah,
too.
I think that for me, that is why I was calm.
God bless lawyers.
I
I'm not insulting
honestly-
again.
So when we were going, I
it's
was chatting with Efia Blue. I was just telling
Okay.
her I'd been arrested and she was like, she's coming, that kind of thing. And I saw Ganaku. I was
Yeah.
like, that was the first time I saw you. I was like, Ganaku. So when
I knew Niboy.
Oh, okay.
There
I
was a
didn't know
meet in
but
school.
Nibo knew me. He was like, oh, I know you. So
Yeah.
you calm down.
So, like,
Even
I
at that point, I didn't know whether to trust him or not because he knows me. I was like,
You didn't know he was a lawyer at that point.
I didn't know anything.
Yeah, they could have been appointees.
Yeah.
But credit to them. I think they were the ones who actually like called us down.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
essentially we're not giving them their
honestly.
phones.
No, we didn't want to give
them
them.
their
We all
phones.
gave our phones
To
to
the
them.
lawyers, yes.
Yeah,
So
that's
lawyers
the thing.
initially,
I gave it to
yeah.
Breezy.
Yeah.
I gave mine to Breezy. I
I
was
gave
like,
mine to
Gana
Prince
cool.
initially,
And it was like, okay, let's be calm. Let's just sit down. And then that was when I think that was the point where I was like, yeah, this is getting real.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
really getting real.
No,
So
but for me, it's really good that the lawyers were there, to be honest. Because it's because of them that I personally did not care. Like, honestly, like, I was just there. I wasn't thinking anything. I wasn't afraid. I was just there because while we were in the buckets of the vehicle, I had tweeted at Fafa, who had, right from the beginning, like in the morning, offered her services. And she even unlocked her accounts for that. So yeah, I was pretty chill. And initially, when the officers were talking to us, they were speaking in language that was clear. Like, there were very clear, efforts to not be sincere with us.
yeah, that's
There were very clear efforts to not be sincere with us and to not communicate clearly. And for me, it was good the lawyers were there because every time we were like, what does this mean? What does giving my phone to them mean? What does giving my name to them mean? This thing that these people are saying, what exactly does it mean?
Mm-hmm.
They were there to explain all of us. And I think that if the Ghana Police Service, if their job is truly to maintain law and order,
They were
and
anything
if
but
their job is
anything
truly
but.
to maintain law and order, and if they are committed to doing the right thing, for me, I'm not a member of the force. I do not know what your SOPs look like. But for me, the process would have been whoever it is that's interacting with you, introducing themselves, telling you why you had been brought there, and then, explaining to you why they are asking you to take the actions they are asking you to take. But they use language that, for me, almost assumes that you are supposed to know the process.
It's like obey
Bro,
before
I've
complain.
never
That's
had
the
some
meaner.
police ask me to follow them to some place. I do not know what the process is. Why are you acting like everybody knows? And this is not my first time encountering a thing like that. The first time I ever saw police search people, my friends had been telling me you can get searched on a church or all of that stuff. First time I encountered that, the guy had stopped us in front of Pele's house, and even the church guy and his mates assumed that they were going to get busted for their light that wasn't working, right? So we're all in the car waiting. The guy goes around the car, comes back to the driver's, to the first passenger's, window, and then he just says, "Hey, you, come out, declare." He just points at some random person in the church. And I'm sitting there and I'm very confused because I do not know what "hey, you, come out, declare" means. I don't know what it means. So I'm sitting
Searching for weapons.
and I'm looking around
That's
and I
serious.
see that somebody comes out of the church and puts their hand in. So that's when it dawns on me that, this is actually what's happening. But who is that language for? If it had started with me, I probably would have gotten into trouble because Mesre, okay, I would have laughed in your face. No, honestly, what
Give me
is
them
you
honesty.
come out declare? Who is that language for?
Yeah, even the way they communicate the offenses. Like if you read a regular person, you have breached the Public Order Act or whatever.
But
I don't know what does that mean?
What's annoying is when they told Samira that like you are trying to be. Once we get to the station, that's what you see.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of rubbish
Yeah.
is that?
So when they said that, I was like, we're at the station. What station are you referring to? That's the point I was like, you said when she gets to the station.
Yeah, so
We're at
which
the station.
station
So
again?
what do you mean by that?
The meeting that we came for, who are we meeting?
Who are we
Nobody,
meeting?
nothing.
Yeah.
And at this point, it's worth noting that for the first batch arrested, they were really treated violently. Like there was
Yeah.
actual physical harm.
Yeah.
From people I've spoken to, they were taken to some back rooms and
were
beaten
beaten,
by people who are not in uniform. They could have been tagged from anywhere, and they didn't seem like, according to them, they didn't seem like officers. They seemed like people who were just
Called
brought
from some
in
place.
to
Come and
do their beating.
beating.
With some tools that were meant to not leave marks and stuff. It felt like
Oh,
something from a
goodness.
movie. And I've seen pictures and stuff, and even just sitting back now, it's like we're really lucky that there were lawyers around to actually
Yeah.
be on our side and make sure
Yeah.
that the police didn't, even with that, they still did stuff, which we'll
Yeah.
get onto, but then at least for physical harm, we were spared that. But then, let's move on to the various stations. We were all separated at some point.
So when we were sitting there,
What
then
were you taking, first of all? Just
Sukura ate.
and Amma, what were you taking?
I was at the ministry.
Yeah, I was with Amma in ministries and
I was at Dansuma.
so like we were some more.
So look, 15
Okay,
of us.
go on.
15 of us.
Yeah, we're 15.
So we're taken to the regional. We have a meeting. Nobody is coming up to talk to us. Hey, right now meeting has 10 to bring your phones. 10 of your
you're under
phones.
arrest.
Your watch is a camera watch.
I forgot about that.
I was so confused.
How are you? Obviously, you can't tell the. So
So if you have good
People so
intentions,
sure.
why are you scared of somebody's camera? Like,
He
if
was
you know
so
you
sure. Goodness.
I'm not sure. He was panicking. He was like,
Corey, your camera watch, like bring your. Then
It's
all
a
of a
camera, it's a
sudden,
camera.
the two pickups came, a Tundra and a hard body. And like
I think there was one guy in there who had been arrested.
that was when I started hearing Sukura.
The thing is, they actually bought a third pickup. So the guys I went to Dansuma with were not with us initially.
Yeah, they also had been arrested.
Yes.
And they brought them there, but they didn't let them get down.
They were in the
Yeah.
car. So that was I was initially supposed to be part of the Shukura 8. And then they were like, oh, no, you
had
look
too
like...
many or something.
So you... And then they had me join the other guys. Even at that point, I was still very naive. I was like, okay, so maybe at this point, they're just going to take us somewhere and then take our statements. So, I was still very chill at that point.
I was
Let us
scared.
go.
I was scared. I started getting scared when they took us from regional to Sukura. Because at this point, they are taking our phones.
Taking our
Yeah.
phones.
Anything
And they said the
communicate.
phones were staying at
You
regional.
understand?
We hadn't
So
called
everybody
family.
you talk to is like, Charlie, I'm original, come. All my boys knew I was original. My brothers, everybody knew I was original. Then they have taken my phone and they are taking me to Sukura.
Yeah.
I don't know Sukura.
Hey, where's Sukura? Is this a black
You
site or
understand?
something?
So then, like, the whole ride from... the most annoying things... when we got to Abusoka in the Central Mosque area, I saw one of my riders, one of my dispatch riders.
Did you see you?
Yeah, he saw me, Masu.
Yeah, and when we were leaving, there was a lot of media outside when they were taking us down.
Yeah.
You know,
Thankfully, I was facing the cocoa board side, so nobody got my face.
Well,
Even there when I was going, I was
my
giving
face
them like
was
that.
plastered on TV3.
Like gang signs. I was doing this. I was
yeah,
doing
your
that.
face was
I was
on
like,
TV.
because I didn't think we were going to be like...
And the police
held
officers
down.
that came to join our car to take us to Sukura, like, they were plain clothes with an earring. One of them had dreadlocks.
Yeah. I saw
That's
those
cool.
guys.
He enters the car and was like, somebody did something. He was like, look, I'm not here to joke. Then we asked him, who's joking here?
Nobody's joking. Like,
Who is joking here? And that me, I no be CID, I be PID.
Hey, what's
What's
PID?
that?
We did like
didn't
what?
mind.
If you can't physical, what you will feel?
Do.
You got your gun or
We see you for town, you alone, you know, if you
what
don't.
you will feel?
Charlie. This is why I have a personal problem with police going about unidentified. You people need to fix it.
That was why I
You can't
tweeted
be
that.
doing this and be telling us police is your friend.
That was why I tweeted that. Look, if you're in Ghana, you feel this NSAS thing. can never happen to you. Charlie, look,
Really?
you are
Yeah.
joking. Because what we encountered that day is the same SARS thing.
Yeah.
Police in earrings, in dreads, and trying to intimidate you. Like,
So I don't know what happened when you guys got to the station, but for us, when we got there, there was an officer, Officer Bansi. So she was like, okay.
Hey, you people there, you knew names.
Yes, because one thing my dad always told me, like,
we
always
didn't
said
know
the names.
names.
So I got there and I was like, Officer Bansi. And so they kept us there. They were like, oh, go
Blansing.
sit at the counter back. So we're there for like 5 minutes. And then there's a guy who comes in who is wearing earrings. And there's another guy who has like dreadlocks. And then they're walking. I was like, oh yeah, cool. Like, you guys don't look like you guys are like one of us. The guy comes in. And then there's someone who's sitting at the extreme end. He bumps his hand into his chest, raises him up. It's like, you take off your shirt. It's like,
One of you guys.
how did he escalate? Yes.
Oh wow.
I was like, how did he escalate from us sitting here and you just coming to like pick someone up? And so he's like, take your shirt off and go into the officer. It's like, hey. I still thought we were going to sit at a counter back.
That guy to the cell.
Yes, that guy, we didn't come
oh
with
no,
him.
me, I knew we were going to sell. So
We
when
didn't
we
come
got
with
here,
him.
Charlie,
So like, I was like, oh yeah, because you're not one of us, like maybe that's why you are being taken there. Then it goes to the next person. It's like, yo, this is...
Wait, so I'm sorry, by this time they haven't like had you document what you are carrying on you, and they haven't done any of that
Nothing.
stuff.
We were in a civil place.
And these people you are saying had earrings
Yeah.
and were wearing their
This is
hair in
National
locks.
Police Station.
This same Ghana Police Service that is profiling people wearing their hair in locks and men who have
The reason why I wasn't like scared was, I'm like you're one of me. Like like my brother has locks, my brother has earrings. So I'm like, oh yeah, like one of you are cool like that.
No, but as a police
so,
officer.
I didn't know at that time. So when he said like,
Do
buffing
we
the
know
guy
for
up, that's when I was
sure,
like, oh
though?
yeah.
He said they are
This guy-
PID, not CID. Me, I be, you know me, I be
PID.
PID.
That guy was like he was drunk. I was like, hey,
You
this
were-
is...
you were smelling alcohol on him.
Yeah, he was drunk. I was like,
I mean,
I'm not doing
entirely
this
to the
anymore.
accounts I got from the morning that people I didn't want to like use the tattoos and stuff to like slay them, but then they didn't seem like officers and they felt like
because if Ghana
thugs on the
Police does
street.
all these, you need to look a certain way to join. Even the rest of the security services have these. You need to be a certain kind of person to join the service. If you truly have that, then where did these people come from?
But let me ask you, did they ask you guys to strip at your
yes, literally. So the guy,
And you guys
after the first guy was robbed up, the 5 of us was like, yeah, no, this experience is not one of us. So we started just taking our stuff off. I took my shirt. I was
Charlie.
like, I wear glasses. Please let me keep my glasses. I was like, nah, you can't. I'm like, I'm personally blind. I need my glasses. Like, oh, glasses not grounding in here. Fatwa. And the next thing we know, they're just pushing us into the room. And this is where it gets very funny because there was a pastor in my group, very old, 56.
The guy, I think it was the guy we saw being
Yeah,
arrested.
we also had an also for
So, like, when we were going in, they pushed them into the second cell. So my cell had like 2 sections. It was the first section and the second section. They pushed him into the second one, locked, and then left the 5 of us here. That was when we had the first slap.
Oh wow!
So we had doom, and we were like, "Yo, is there a slap to his back or his face?" So when we're speaking,
this was a protester being
yes. So the next thing we hear is another doom. Like, yo, and they were asking him to bring 200 Ghana cedis. So he's like, Miniska. And then I told Officer, I was like, Officer Ponti, the guy in there is not a criminal, it's one of us. So then he speaks to another person, and then we're like, let's wait. In 30 minutes, someone will be brought from the CID office into that cell. So when they come and they open up, then they'll bring him. So that was when they brought him up. When the guy came, for like 6 hours, the guy didn't utter a single word. Like he was just mute the whole time. I was like, so I was asking him like, what was the experience there? And the guy's like, yeah, it's terrible. There are so many people there. Every hour for the 12 hours that we were there, there's a visitor and then someone new comes out. So every time there's someone new coming out from, I'm like, how many people are there? It's like, there are plenty. I'm like, what's the size of the room? It's like, it's a little bigger than this. Like, so how many people are being kept there? Because every hour, someone comes to see their family member and there's a new person who's coming out. So that was the point I was like, nah, if we have to spend a night here, this will be a very traumatic experience.
I mean, we have this perception of the police and we criticize them and their conduct and, in fact, the whole legal system. But then to actually get to see it and experience it first, and it was like, the thing cast because it was, there were people who I met who had been there for like 3 years, some a year, some months, and it's like, I don't have money for bail, my case is in court. And if you follow cases in court, sometimes the police officer comes in and it's like, oh, we are still investigating, so urgent. And then you are back in prison. When, because of your circumstances, maybe you can't afford bail, they should be working to expedite it, it's like we are still investigating, so urgent, and that can go on for a year. Especially when you don't have like a correct lawyer to pull strings for you. And it seems like in your place, I mean, there was actual violence, because for the rest of us, even the stripping, initially they were like, the guys, we should take off our clothes, that kind of thing. And we protested. It was like, take off your belt, take off your shoes, take off your clothes. And we were like, Charlie, nah. And I think the whole tag of ministries being like a DB place kind of favored us, because they didn't push back a lot. They were like, okay, just go in with your clothes.
So in Sukura, when we got there, they wanted to try that thing, but we're all boys, and it's like, nah, Charlie.
But they were all boys to
like,
Charlie.
When you matter there, say, nah, Charlie. I know they're more.
That felt like it was going too far. It was like we're being treated
so
like.
So they just pulled the three of us to go write our statements, and they locked up the other people. So
you wrote your statements quite early.
They took our statements. No, we said we were waiting for a lawyer. So they wrote that long thing. Then you sign, 3 pages. Then they brought us back to the store. So when we came back, that was when I realized that Charlie, me pack of that cell. It was my guy said that cell.
But you guys were alone there, yeah? Or
yeah, we're alone in the cell. It was like a new cell for us, but it was nasty inside.
Was that a relief to you that there was no one there to like?
No, we didn't care. But like, what would you do? Like, what would you do?
I was worried. I was like, because we get in and it's like people are rushing on you and they're like, okay,
no.
Come round. This is the bathroom. If you don't want to sleep in the nasty toilet, prepare some 1K for VIP.
Wait, I'm
VIP
sorry,
in
what?
heavy coat.
Yeah,
that's what happened to us.
Wait, it was the people in there.
Oh, yeah, I mean, they were laughing with us later on, but then they were extorted, and people paid 1K.
Oh my goodness, people should have told me.
You didn't know.
You should have told me.
I mean, I had to fork like 200 CDs. People paid 400,
no,
500.
I wouldn't have smiled or laughed with them.
I mean, it felt like SS, where SS, your seniors
that's one of my problems,
but then
actually.
You're like so cool with them after they've done all that to you.
No, honestly, I wouldn't have smiled or
And
because
partly they are also victims, because for them it's like they are there. That's how they survive, because nobody is thinking about them.
That's
So
not
they
nice.
need
At that point, I was more
That's
worried
not
about
nice.
you guys. I was like, okay.
Me too, that's how I felt. I was like,
what's
what's
happening to
happening?
them? Like, what are your experiences? Because even though we were rubbed up in the beginning, like as time went on, like we're playing a bit cool. I was like, so Charlie, car battery guy, what's up? Charlie, what's up? The last name say, them be cool or something.
Oh, Charlie,
so
them be
the nicknames, if everybody, like all the guys who came, I was like, yo, so what's happening on the timeline? Like, let me explain this to me.
Yeah, we're off the grid though, for
Yeah,
like the
we're
first
off
time in a
the
long
grid,
while.
yeah.
So that was the time I realized that Charlie, I can live without my phone, because like
That was the last thing on my mind.
that was the question I was asking the lawyers. Heat at the time, because I knew that look, with everything that was going on, it was only heat and pressure that would let us out. Because anybody that comes to ask, order from above. Somebody wants to bail you. Hey, even the commander there in Sukura didn't have power over us.
Yeah.
Like,
Also,
there's nothing I can do.
original.
Yeah, it was.
original.
We have to wait for them. And I forgot to mention, we were supposed to be taken. I was supposed to be taken to Osu, and I don't know whether it was by design. I suspect it was.
I suspect that too.
They tell our lawyers. They give them a list actually of where they are taking us, and by my name and some others, it's like we are taking you to Osu.
Yeah.
But then they dump us at ministries, which thankfully backfired
But
on
you
them
see,
because it was
this
nice. But then they should have. Yeah, they
It's
should.
wrong.
Because the lawyers went there, they didn't find
Why
anybody.
would you tell?
They did.
Why would you wait for me to tell everybody I'm at Original? Then you
take
seize
my
my phone and you take me to Sukura.
Yeah.
Are you like? Is this?
It was all by
This is a
design.
democracy.
Yeah, it
Like,
was all by design.
Yeah.
and this is our president is a human rights lawyer. You don't do these things.
Fam.
And what makes it very some way for me is this. The same person that we are protesting against organized the biggest protest in the 90s.
Yeah.
Like, you did the movement,
yeah.
over 100,000 people came. And this less than like 3,000 people. Look at the way you are treating. If Rollins did that to you, how would you feel?
Back to the issue of protest, did you feel like at that point around 1-2, the thing had cast like the Occupy Julorbi was like dead when we were in cells?
Because
Because that's how I felt.
Yeah.
So
my thing was, initially in the morning, all those who were picked up, a lot of them had like, the organizers were there.
yeah.
So if you are the sheep and you can't find the shepherd, what happens to you? And then I think the second part were people who were a bit more like Kabatrick and all of us here, a bit more influential to an extent. So if they picked all of us up, everybody is now scared to come out.
Yeah.
So I was like,
So I
at 2
felt like-
at 2 p.m. I was like, yeah, this thing is dead.
So even a day later, I was surprised people actually mobilized there.
Yeah.
Because at that point, I felt like, wow, like
Yeah.
something was. I mean, I felt things were changing when people started showing up at the police station. They were.
Yeah.
But we didn't know because the way our
we
cell
didn't
was
know.
designed,
Yeah.
the design of our cell, you can't
For
see
you
what's
guys.
going. Yeah.
But for
Yeah.
at ministries, people were like showing up,
And it took a long time for people to notice us. We were there.
Yeah, in your place,
it
you
took
were
like
deep in a-
after 6 hours before.
6
my
hours.
goodness.
Yeah, after 6 hours before we saw the first.
First, yeah.
Wait, so all of you did the statement thing without lawyers?
No, so when we were going, Niboy told us when they
You will
asked,
follow.
we shouldn't write. Just tell them you.
Yeah, wait for your lawyers.
So
I mean, I wrote and told them that they had denied us access to our as at the time of writing, they had denied us access to
man.
lawyers and a
No, we
phone
didn't
call to
write
our
it, we
family.
should
I've done
me,
that.
And then the CID guy was upset. He was like,
Yeah.
if you're doing
Oh,
this,
that
then
guy.
Yeah.
a guy in a green shirt, he was
I
like,
remember
The
him.
guy wrote the whole thing, the whole one page, and I was like, put it in there that I don't consent to this and I'm not going to sign.
I mean, I put it there and
So for
made
me,
it clear that they
yeah.
had denied us our right to, even though our lawyers were there with us, they had been swerving the lawyers, taking us to the wrong stations,
Yeah.
denying us the phone call.
Yeah.
Because they had phones, there was
Yeah,
nothing.
and we were supposed to call the lawyers and tell them that, oh, they told you we're going to Osu. All of us are here. You should come here. They just didn't care. For me, when we're going and I saw that, the Julorbi house was empty, like that whole stretch was empty. I think I even
empty.
made a video. I started thinking about like alternatives, to be honest.
Alternatives in what sense?
Like of protesting. So if we can't get access to this place, what else could we possibly do?
But was there a point where you guys felt like you were sleeping in this hall?
So
yes.
me, for us in Sukura, Charlie, look, when we asked the lawyer, it was like, Charlie, look, the chances that you be sleeping was high. And that time the visitors had started coming and looking at the way the place was nasty. I was like, Charlie, Tom, a friend of mine.
Tell how nasty. First, we describe the
That's nasty.
the-
And you are not allowed. I was just lucky I was wearing socks. But those of us who are not wearing socks, you are not allowed to wear
But they
slippers.
took our socks.
Bro,
They took your I didn't allow them. Nah. So I was in my
They took my
socks
socks
the whole time. I left my sneakers in. But those who were not wearing socks with their feet and all. And
Charlie.
the washroom, Charlie, it was you recall people said one of the policemen was saying we should go and scrub the washroom.
Washroom, yeah.
Oh, just
The
like
people
essence.
who were
Like,
there
I don't know
before
what's
us
wrong with our
had used
country.
it, and it's not the WC. It's just some. You have to squat on it. That kind of, and the
VIP.
person had messed it. Whoever was there has messed it up. And that's where you pee too. Charlie, all those socks like in Namsade we move there, you go pee.
No
come.
Charlotte.
No Charlotte.
Charlotte, wow.
So when we went after 4 p.m. there about.
So is Dan Parry happy? They have a duty
Oh,
of care.
ask
So
him.
after 4
Ask
p.m.,
him.
they are on remand. They are not convicts. Some of them may be innocent for all I know. For all we know.
Yeah.
So after 4
And for
p.m.
them to
I was
be
like,
treated
Charlie,
this way.
look, the thing there, the way you do there. Yeah. Then I organized the broom and a mop and we cleaned up the place. And Charlie, because I knew definitely I was going to sleep there. And so when anybody comes, we'll ask you. So we organize the Sukra cell. We organize what we would need for the night.
Cell leader.
I
Cell leader.
die.
We managed to get playing cards.
I know, please, please.
No, but I actually love this.
So
Because of vacation.
we had playing cards, repellent, mosquito. So water mosquito coil. And
you
they said
ready?
they won't allow.
So what time was this? When were you doing all this?
Oh, we organized it before 5 p.m. because we know, say, Charlie.
Because
the man had
for-
told us that it looks like
For us, we were closer to the center of things. So by I think 4:30, we were told that there was a chance that we could have bill. They had told us
Yeah.
they had organized the.
Our lawyers came to us after 5 p.m.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
anybody that came to visit after like the 6 hours, like, Corey, tell your wife. Corey's
So
wife
even
was
at
there.
6, you didn't know you were getting out.
No!
I was asleep when they told us that. Let's
you people
go.
were
It was
even
suddenly-
sleeping, goodness.
Yeah. So when it got to a point, people would come and they would be giving us hope, like Charlie, BP. Then I get angry, like Charlie, look, this time Ghana police are poor.
Yeah.
So I was asleep.
It was a holiday too.
Yeah, and it was
Yeah, it
after
was a
9 p.m. that
holiday.
we got out. So as at 8, when they were watching, the guys, so we had a TV across. So we were like, when it was 6 o'clock, the guys who watched, like, it wasn't Metro TV News, going to stand there, they were watching the news. Wanted to see what's going on. But there was nothing concrete, So, like, okay, Yemshe TV3 at 7. So after that time, I just went to lie down because I was tired.
Yeah. It was at 5:30 that a lawyer came and said that he had spoken to my sister, but it doesn't look likely like we're going to live today.
Wow.
And at that point, like, I'm being very honest with you, like, everything in me was off. I was like, freaking hell. The first time I'm going to sleep in the jail cell is for me protesting. So at that point, it was so many things were running into my head.
So when we're in there, what I'll do is once in a while ask somebody, one of the guys, Charlie, you cool? They're like, you're cool.
So leader.
I was doing the same thing.
Then I'll ask them, Charlie, so if protest day tomorrow you go come. Everybody said I would show up when there's a protest.
Yeah.
So I was like, so I realized that look, everybody is calm. And I was just telling them that look, it looks like we'll be sleeping. So there's nothing we can do. So just calm down, we'll be fine. After we cleaned our cell, then we got somebody. Then we paid money to the police to get somebody to come and clean the washroom.
Hey.
Yeah.
I said
The water wasn't running.
Behind the
So-
cell gate is like lawless. It's like that's where the police service ends. You're in
Bro.
like an abyss.
No, we
You're on
did. We
your own.
organized the thing. So we got somebody to clean the washroom since we were going to sleep there. People brought in food, water, and all. But honestly, Charlie, look, none of us was hungry there because the
Yeah,
conditions
I
there,
didn't eat anything, like-
it's nasty and it's hot.
So
Yeah,
for my group, I was sort of like the leader because I was the one who was closest to the gates, and I was speaking to the lawyers like Alex, like Daryl, all those who were coming.
Who were the lawyers we were dealing with?
Alex, Dodu. So
I don't think I
the funny thing is, when it was around 5 when he told us like, look, it looks like you guys might spend the night over here. That was when all the food that was coming to us, like I would do a bit of like rushing the food. Keep this here.
Charlie.
And I sent some to those who were inside. So all I was doing was the food I was sending to them was a bargaining chip for me. So that if we were to be sent inside to go and sleep over there, those guys would be like, "Oh, we don't have to pay the money." So like we got like plantain chips, we got kinky, we got fried rice, and I was just sending the whole thing because I had lost appetite at that point. The only thing I could eat at that time was like one single plantain chip and then water.
It was just water that we were just drinking.
Water and
drinking. And like, we
can't
Sukura there, we were cool. We were playing cards because Charlie.
Vacation.
I love that you
There was
managed to find
There was
joy.
nothing to do again, and like our last game.
So there was no moment of hope for you, like
Yeah.
because for me it was like there was before like 4 thereabouts. I had made up my mind that I was spending the night, but around 4:30 the
I
lawyer
never
comes
at
and
any
says,
point made up my mind to
Yeah, I
sleep
made up my
there.
mind.
I don't know.
And
and the lawyer comes and says we are working on bill for you guys, and then
Yeah.
the hope comes in, and I start getting anxious. Like, okay, there's hope that I'm
Yeah.
going to get there, and that's when the anxiety sets in. I'm like
Yeah.
now pacing around and like
Yeah.
wondering, are they going to
So
like sort this
Spinelli
out?
came to the protest from jamming at Aliba. So when he got into the cell, before he could realize he was asleep.
You got jump the night before.
Yeah, so
play
he
hard
slept the whole time, you know.
Charlie.
So we in Sukura we were just cool, you know. We are just giving up. We knew we were going to. So the lawyers told us that they were arraigned us for court the following morning. So me, I knew I was going to go to
That
court
was
in
a
the
due
morning.
process.
Everybody was asking us, "Hey Charlie, so I won't brush my teeth." I said, "Hey, what would you dress yourself?"
Me, I was worried about not peeing and not needing to pee or poo. God forbid, that was like
So that was when
my
I
biggest worry.
ordered for the collodium.
The collodium.
I just downed two capsules because Charlie, I can't wait in the morning.
I'm just
We're finding humor in this thing, but on the day itself, it was
Yeah, no,
it
no,
was
no.
insane.
But
No.
I found it inspiring too because just looking around and seeing people who were like, there were doctors,
Yeah.
accountants,
Yeah.
There were all
lawyers,
sorts of
and it's
people.
like,
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, these people felt like this was
So
worth
in
it.
our cell, Corey had sold a house, and one of the policemen was a middleman in the deal. So
Small world.
So like, what can you do?
I see.
Yeah, he sold his house, and the policeman was a middleman in the
I
deal. So
see.
he would rather come in to the Babangida, Chief Inspector Babangida.
Oh.
So he'll come and check on us. Charlie, Corey, you dey cool? You to bibi mamo.
Hey.
So before everybody could notice us, he got us water and all, and we
They
just
didn't try to extort you or anything.
Wait.
oh no, like
No, to their credit, there was this Officer Korti. I think who was brought in from the
You
original.
people know names.
Yeah,
so-
I've forgotten all the
I'm
names.
checking name tags. He
Yeah,
came, sat
carefully
in there,
to
was
forget
like
stuff.
directly like in front of us. I think he was sent to regional to keep an eye on us. So occasionally I'll just be like, Officer Korti, then echo. Then he'll come and show me if you have blues, timeline. Like, oh, okay, right now. I'd be like, then they try to sort some things out for you. So that guy was very chill.
So what was happening on the timeline that day?
No, so like he said, they had gotten bail, but they needed 10 sureties for each individual. I was like, you're not 10 individuals here.
We had
What's up?
that very like we would like
There were
We
all
were told
7.
it was for a group. No, we were
That's
told it was,
what
it
Yeah,
was a
we
group.
were told it was
I think
for
that
a
was
we had that will be released after 8.
we were thinking 10. So we were doing praise and worship at the time.
No, that
part is really...
You're not praying.
We were doing praise and worship.
Shadrach, Meshach, and
Then the miracle happened.
That part's really off to me because when we got there, they were calling somebody also for. So the people who have nicknames. I mean, the people who went to me there.
Inframa, MTN.
Charlie.
and-
So many nicknames.
So at
and
6?
there's an Osofo. And
Yeah, there's a guy who's like.
we've been told that. So by this time, Darlington's dad has come again. But the way that he's chill and, you know, he just goes away and doesn't go away. Like, he just remains in the compound. I know that, the build, it is coming, will be cool. Because it looks like he has just come to get his child, you know, for real this time. So I'm chill. I'm just standing there where I've been standing for over 10 hours. And I hear people singing. I'm like, hey, these my people that I came with. I think they're more, sorry.
We're doing
At
praise and
7,
worship.
so the Muslim guys prayed.
Yeah,
they combined
prayed first and then-
Isha and Maghrib, and then they prayed around that time. When they were done, then they held a praise and worship for the Christians. So that lasted about 20 minutes. So the Christians amongst us were like, they were joining them.
So you
And the
joined
Muslims, no.
Oh, you didn't join
I'm a Muslim, so.
you're a
but,
Muslim.
but I couldn't pray because I was just in my boxer shorts. I have to wear something that's like beneath my knee. And the funny thing is, when they were done, next thing I know, there's a slap. When they were done, boom. And I asked the guy who was in front of the cell, was like, they called him Kumasi. I was like, yo, Kumasi, what's up? He's like, Akwano Jimmy. Why did I say, there was this bucket, and the paste in the bucket, and so when it's full, you go and throw it away. The guy was drinking from the bucket. The guy.
You were drinking.
Yeah, drinking. We were there, and the guy was shout. Yeah! Then they'll give him boom. So that was what I was coming from. I was like, what the hell? They just prayed. And the guy was there. So I was like, I can't sleep in that cell with that guy.
I have issues with that, you know, boys boarding school thing that they are running over there. It's terrible. Because towards the end of our time there, they brought some guy. I think it was for a DV issue.
He was really beaten up.
You were there,
Yeah,
you saw. So they brought this guy, and by this time, so at ministries, they locked up the guys by 6 p.m.
6:30.
6:30,
they
they
locked us behind one barrier.
so that the women can have their own space. But I was still standing in the common area. I wasn't in the women's cell. So they bring this guy in. They haven't opened, you know, the gates for him to go to the other side yet. So he's in the common area with me. And he's just ranting to me. Okay, he's telling me about how he's had a child with somebody and he's supposed to pay whatever, but the person knows somebody over there or whatever and keeps using that proximity to that powerful person to get him to come and spend time there. And he was talking. And I was just standing there, right? Because I don't know what this person is going to do next. But me, I'm just standing there. And one of these cell leaders or whatever, I don't know what his role is, but this guy comes and it's basically like, do you know her? Why are you talking to her? Why are you talking plenty? Why are you shouting? Go. And then he hits him, pushes him to some corner, and then asks him to kneel and raise his hands. And he's slapping his back. And all of this is happening, and the officers haven't said PIM.
The officers, they wash their hands off you. Once you're in there,
And
like,
I'm just there like,
anything goes.
oh, that is not okay, that's not. It wasn't until I said, oh, that's not okay, that he turned and then said, Jaidiawo, you know. Like,
So we were the farthest
I
away
don't
from all of
understand.
you. So every information you guys were getting were the last to literally
Yeah.
get it.
No, we're not getting Sukura, we're not getting any
Any
It
information.
sounded like
No.
your place was deserted. Like there was
Yeah.
No, it's not on the map. When you check Google Maps, my wife
I'm
was
sorry,
like,
how did
so
they
when
find
my
you?
wife
How did they
found
find
out
you?
I was in Shukura, she checks Google Map and it takes her to Sokoto, Nigeria. And then she's like,
I forgot you were married. How were our loved ones reacting to this? Did you hear from your
finally,
parents, from your wife in your case?
when Tom came to visit, I called my wife and she was like, she's cool. I told her, like, Charlie, this was happening. She's like, oh, she knew I'll be arrested. So then Maunyo took calls his wife, and his wife starts laughing at you. It's like, hey, my wife, they love me. So when did they catch me myself? My wife, they love me. But Corey's wife came and she was pissed. Like, why are you putting me through this? And I was like,
Charlie.
I was like, Ghana, yeah.
I was surprised some people were not surprised some people were not surprised this happened. The fact that we were arrested.
Yeah.
'Cause my uncle was like, yeah, this is how governments operate.
Of course.
Like they've seen life in Ghana, they've lived under Champong Rawlings, and it's like police rounding up people and taking them to cells. It's like, yeah, they are surprised it doesn't happen often, to be honest with them. And on my end, it was like, well, it's happened. You've seen Ghana for what it is. At least it was eye-opening. Like, I mean, we criticize the government, but like, I feel like this
you got to
provided
see firsthand.
some extra conviction. I was like, nah, the system really is like...
Yeah.
My sense of calm came in when like my girl came in, and then she was like, so like our cell is this, there's a space, and then there's a barricade, so you can talk to someone directly.
Yeah.
They're not very close to you. So when she was there, she was like, yeah, like, are you fine? Do you need anything? I was like, no. It's like, are you sure? Because you're not taking your meds, you've not eating. I'm like, no. It's okay. And then there's someone with me, I've forgotten his name, Joseph. So his brother comes, and his brother is also like a church person. His brother's like, oh yeah, you guys will be fine. I think like the lawyers are trying to like arrange things for you, so you guys should be fine. What got me again worried was when my girl left. That was when the lawyers came and they were like, yeah, Charlie, be like, letting people go sleep here. So
We were cool. We were cool.
We were sexy. I was like,
Me, my problem was the guys, because I rounded them up at step maximum. So like
You were feeling a little guilty.
You were feeling like it was your fault.
Yes, it's my fault.
Oh, Charlie.
But when I talk to them, like, Charlie, look,
I mean, people
any
were like...
demonstration will show up. I'm like, Vim, then let's...
Funny thing is, I was actually, every time I was asking them, like, yo, car battery, what's up with them? And say, oh, he'd be cool. Like,
they're not cool.
So that was a bit more like reassuring for me. I was like, knowing that he's fine. So when I heard that you guys had been left, I was like, oh yeah, like right now, it'd be like, small. When the last we left, to be like, oh yeah. So I left at 10:56.
Yeah, we left around 9.
We left at 10:56.
Wow.
So I go home after midnight.
You know how before, like at the headquarters place, we're joking that since they carried us from 37, they are going to have to give us transportation or take us back.
Nobody cared. It wasn't for people around.
Yeah.
Nobody. Because some people had their cars parked at 37.
So I had my car parked at 37. So when Solo, a friend of mine, came to visit me, I told him to take my key, then go move my car, go park it at home for me. So that was my only worry.
Mine was there. Mine was still there at night.
So it was still there.
My uncle took me there afterwards.
So after they released that, there was this guy. I don't even remember his name. He just told me, let me give you a lift. And he took me straight to my house.
People, bro.
Yeah, but
I mean, the mobilization was incredible.
I was amazed.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was that loud. When we went for our phones the following afternoon, Charlie, then messages and everything. I was like,
From home and abroad, it was like people worried. They are seeing the name online. They were calling parents.
My problem was my wife. Once she was cool, because
how are your brother and mother faring?
Oh, my Jude. He was like, he was concerned about my car than me.
For me, it was Deji. Deji came around and Deji was like, yo, so you be the new Lexis guy? I was like, Charlie, people they stress me. They ask me, say you be cool, you be fine. Charlie, so why you be so give me good or something? I'm like, nah. The whole thing keep me very surprised, and that's why. Every time I get an opportunity like this, I want to give credit to like the lawyers.
Everyone
was constantly like making sure like our welfare was.
I've not seen a fear blue before. But
I mean, a lot of them were just saying like people I knew online.
Yeah, me too.
The community we have over there. Let's embrace the community.
That's the reason I was outside. That's the reason I will be outside.
We can't continue running our democracy like this. It should be about accountability to the people.
I also need...
That's what I'm always preaching. Look, people are saying we need a third force. We have less than a year and some months to 2024 elections. We are not going to get a Peter Obi from anywhere. That's why when we call for you to come out and protest, you have to come. Because look, we've made life very easy for these politicians. That's why they are taking us for a ride like this. And like, look, 2017 till now, I was reading something today, 120 billion debt, external debt, and you come and you've borrowed 450 billion. It's not you who's going to pay for it.
It's us.
You've touched our generations unborn. You understand? Look at the cathedral. Look at the campaign promises. Look at the. And you see, when
you feel the same way.
Look, it is us. Last year, a report came that 850,000 Ghanaians have been pushed into poverty. It's us.
Yeah.
Look at the cost of building.
It's us. A lot of us are like marginally
We
poor.
never own homes, so we always be group chat
Multidimensionally poor.
admins for our landlords.
Charlie.
Like, you always be in a group chat.
I mean,
Then people will
that's
leave
the
and you be a
thing.
group, you be the admin for the house for your landlord and all. Like, look, sometimes this government gives me sleepless nights.
Oh, Charlie,
I don't lie to
Charlie,
you.
relax.
And, see, the funny thing is this. You think going out to Canada and everything is a solution. But look, you speak to somebody, they tell you, I want to come and retire in Ghana. You come and retire in Ghana. 2023 hit, went me ano. Is that 2057 where the systems are, Ghana is like gone, there's no water because Galamsey has destroyed all our water bodies. Is that when you think you can come and deal with it? Or you think our systems is money that money doesn't insulate you from this rubbish show. Money doesn't insulate you. Look at the conditions in a cell. Imagine like it's not your fault. You just end up there. Look at these conditions.
I mean, if you had a seizure, it's likely you die.
You
if you had a heart
die.
attack,
Like you see,
if you had asthma, you
look,
could have died.
Ghana has to work. Ghana has to work. And you see, the people who are messing us up, God in the Bible, he says 70 years plus. People who are playing extra time with their lives, so and it's our generations
We were talking
unborn.
about Elizabeth Ohene today. She's 70. Just
Oh,
go
like
and
70,
retire.
you understand?
78.
I mean, she's almost 80.
Charlie, look, this country stresses me. I don't lie to you. See, I run a business. 2022. You do supply. Companies will buy on credit. By the time they pay you, it can't even buy what
The next set of
you have workers. You have to let them go home. You can't go. My reason with the 23 cedis 50% diesel thing, my pickup from
That thing
800
did
cedis filling tank to around 1,700 cedis filling tank, and you fill your tank for 1,700 cedis, and you be driving for a week. Is it sustainable?
No, it's not.
Like why? Look, one time I tweeted about 2021 and everything. When I got married in 2021, papaya 50 cedis, papaya 2 packs. I'll get extra.
Tell me about it.
2 packs of papaya, extra coleslaw, 50 cedis.
Tell me about
I can
it.
come home, I'm cool.
Tell me about it.
50 cedis, a crate of egg. When I got married, 17 cedis for a crate of egg. Today, look
Yeah,
at the
60
price of this.
How can you start
If
a
I want to
family?
buy
60
papaya for me and my wife, it's over 100 and something
Yeah,
cedis.
because
A
one
crate
pack
of
is
egg,
60
50 something. Is this sustainable?
It's not sustainable.
Like, you see, and you see, when we call for protests, everybody is like, the people that kept quiet those days, their pensions have been touched.
No.
They've touched their pensions. They are dying.
True.
Like, they're on medication. They are dying because everybody kept quiet to the wrath of these government. But look, we don't have to look. We have to get to a point where you wake up, you hear that a minister has taken 1 CD, everybody is on the street. This is the protests and sit-down strikes and all these things. They are part of a healthy democracy. Like, Ghanaians, why? Come demonstrate, you won't come. Unless it touches you, that's when you see that. We don't have to get to that point.
Okay, so Nee, can you give us the last word? I mean, we've said a lot, and I feel like you should kind of sum up everything for us.
I feel like the biggest thing for me, the biggest takeaway is that all of us who came, we didn't have any political leanings. We didn't come here because we were fighting for one political party. We were doing this because we are striving to get a Ghana where it works for everybody.
Yeah.
So regardless of what
a basic level.
you're not asking for much.
You're not asking for much.
What party affiliation you are with, we don't care about it. And so the age demographic for me was very important. The second thing that was very important for me was seeing queer people and women actually lead this. So these are people who we often marginalize.
Yeah.
We don't include
Very
them in things we do. But
deliberately.
these people played very key roles in us being able to do this. And for me, the third thing is we've shown a desire and a strength to be able to hold a protest. Now it is up to us to make sure that
And the
we're able-
organization,
Yes.
the organization was tip top, and I'm
Yeah.
sure
Yeah, it's for us to be able to hold our hands and to be able to move this from where it is now to the next level. It shouldn't end there.
Yeah.
And like Danny said, accountability is the very key part of this.
People shouldn't. I'm sorry. People shouldn't forget why we are protesting.
Yeah.
It is because we want accountability to be a part
Regardless
of our
of who is in power.
democracy,
Yeah.
regardless of who is in charge. Look, we won't get a Peter Obi today. We won't get a Peter Obi tomorrow. It's NDC and PP. We have to learn to hold them accountable. Other than that, Charlie, we are wasting our time.